Welcome to the On-Site Solutions Physical Therapy Employee Spotlight. I'm your host, Steve Olvers. Each month, we're going to be highlighting one of our amazing physical therapists. This month, our special guest is Jane Goeken. All right, so hello, Jane, and welcome to our show.
It's nice to be here.
Excellent. We appreciate you being here. We're just going to take some time to ask you a few questions and get to know you a little bit better. Let's start off with a little history. Can you explain how you got into physical therapy?
I was a high school junior and I volunteered at our local hospital in Peoria, Illinois called OSF St. Francis Medical Center. And I volunteered on the rehabilitation unit, and that was an inpatient rehab unit. And so I observed physical therapists doing their work.
Can you explain what your educational journey was, your next steps?
I went to high school at Farmington High School in Farmington, Illinois. I was a Farmington farmer of all things. That was our mascot. And then I attended Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, Illinois, and received a 4-year degree. Later, I went to St. Ambrose University and attended what's called a transitional doctorate of physical therapy program. And that program was designed for physical therapists who were gainfully employed in the community. And they were allowed to do weeks at a time or weekends in order to do the education requirements. And so that's how I earned my doctorate degree.
We've talked a little bit about what got you into physical therapy, your educational background. I kind of want to hear a little bit more about your career path. Just in talking to you as a colleague previously, I know you haven't had that straightforward high school, college, PT school, PT job background. It's been a little bit more varied. Can you explain a little bit further?
Yes, the first 3 jobs I had were at rural hospitals. And so I was involved with pediatrics at each facility. That included neonatal intensive care units, acute care, which would be in the hospital setting. We had a neonatal intensive care unit. Early intervention services. So I did that mixed in my whole career, the first several jobs I had at rural hospitals. And included in that, I also did adults where I would do acute care or inpatient. We had specific inpatient rehab units at a few facilities I worked at. And so I got to work with clients for 4 to 6 weeks who had maybe sustained a stroke or a spinal cord injury or had complications from major surgery. I also did outpatient mixed in that whole time as well. A couple of the sites I worked at had therapy pools, and so I've always been involved with aquatic physical therapy too. Then I took a job in Peoria, Illinois at a clinic that was specific to orthopedics. And that is where I focused on purely outpatient, primarily orthopedic care. And that is where I received my orthopedics specialty certification that I have through one of our national credentialing organizations. So then I did that. After that, I worked at a place that was a chronic pain center. And so I worked in conjunction with a physician who had more of a homeopathic outlook on what we consider, traditional medical care. And I worked alongside a chiropractor and a massage therapist, and I was a physical therapist. And we worked in conjunction as a team with clients with chronic pain. And then after that, I ended up finding On-Site Solutions, and combined with that job, I also work in school physical therapy. And now I work I cover 6 school districts.
6 districts?
Yes, I'm the supervisor for 5, and then I do provide the direct physical therapy for one of them.
Okay, very cool. You had mentioned a specialization that you had. Can you expand more on that for me?
Yes, I'm certified as an orthopedic specialist for physical therapy. It's through ABPTS, and it's our national credentialing organization. And what I had to do was take a specialized examination, and then that certification was provided for 10 years. And then for the second round of certification, I was able to do a reevaluation program where I did some different extra activities. For example, I live near Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois. So what I did was I went in and volunteered with their doctoral physical therapy program in the gross anatomy lab. I was not an
Oh, fun.
instructor. I was not an instructor, but I was around to help identify body parts with the students in the actual human gross dissection lab. That's one example. And so that recertification process was more like a portfolio that I developed. And then that allowed me to have a current recertification until 2029.
Oh, wow, that's a long time from now. What has been your favorite part of your career so far?
Working with the people. I really enjoy being one-on-one with people. I enjoy the autonomy of our job. I also enjoy just kind of watching people get better with providing sometimes what I consider simple advice. And it's just fun watching people improve. I also really enjoy the hectic pace of it, where you're kind of just at the schools, I'm going from one child to another, or I have a meeting. There's always something different going on. And at the factory setting, we do some injury prevention activities where I'm out on the floor doing different things. And so I like the variation in my job duties. I really like doing a lot of different things where it doesn't become mundane. And I think physical therapy is one of those fields that you can do that.
What would be the most valuable lesson you've learned in your career so far?
To be calm. There are going to be issues that occur every day. I have probably learned a new electronic medical record about every other year that I've been a physical therapist, and computer skills are not my forte, but I have learned that show me exactly how to do something, give me a training, and I've learned it. I think that's probably the biggest lesson I've learned. In my 20s, things would get me more worked up than they do in my 40s. Not that I still don't get worked up sometimes, but you just kind of learn to just take things as they go and be a little calmer, because people are relying on you to do your job well. There's not a lot of room for error in our field. And so it's really important to just take the time with it, with your decision making, and also making sure that you communicate with your clients with empathy.
That's a big one. Excellent. It sounds super interesting. How did you first learn about on-site solutions?
I actually saw an ad on Indeed, and I had never done anything specifically with work injury management, and so I thought it might be an interesting thing to consider applying for. They were looking for part-time positions, and I was looking for something flexible, so I thought I would give them a call. I had worked at that orthopedic facility I had mentioned earlier in Peoria, Illinois, and one of our contracts was with a large tractor manufacturing company, and we used to have a actual workers' compensation physical therapy clinic on site at the local foundry. And I had been involved in that work before, so I was kind of interested to see the prevention piece of the puzzle. And so I decided to send in an application. A couple of days later, I heard from Melissa Gill, performed a phone interview. She's very vibrant, very friendly. And then I had another phone interview with Tiffany Vreeman, and she also was very motivated, very enthusiastic, very kind. And that warmth is something that just really brought me to the company. And so I've now been working for this company for 3 years.
Can you describe more of what you do for on-site and how you do it?
OSSPT is based out of Minnesota, but it has contracts throughout the country. And I think I'm the only physical therapist in Illinois. And what I do is I work for a custom metal working services facility in Washington, Illinois. And I am there a minimum of 10 hours to a maximum of 12 hours per week. And what I do is I provide injury prevention services to the facility. We provide customized stretch programs for the workers to perform. I also look at specific job sites at the plant to make some ergonomic recommendations to decrease the likelihood of strain sprain injuries to workers. I also will perform some first aid treatments as needed.
What are some of the best skills that you feel like you bring to on-site?
If you're going to work for a company that is located in another state, you need to be an extremely independent type of person. That is something that I am skilled at. I'm also extremely organized and self-motivated, so I think those are a couple of skills that I bring. I also do feel that personal skills, being able to work with a variety of clients, is also helpful.
So enough about work, enough about education, enough about PT. Let's talk about some of the fun stuff. Outside of physical therapy, what are some of your favorite activities?
I love reading. I've been a voracious reader since I was a child. I always take a book with me wherever I go. I prefer the old-fashioned book that you can actually open it, read it on paper. I love reading. I also love trivia podcasts. I listen to them frequently. Due to the COVID epidemic, I'm not able to go to trivia contests right now, but I absolutely love trivia. I enjoy doing sprint triathlons. I am what we call an amateur sprint triathlete, meaning that I simply do it for the enjoyment of it and getting in shape. So I really enjoy those. I enjoy hiking, walking, outdoors. I just took up painting, acrylic painting a couple of years ago, and so I really enjoy that too. So those are a couple of my personal hobbies that I have.
That's awesome. That's a good variety to have. This will be a fun one. Complete the sentence. The best piece of advice that has ever been given is?
Stay calm and carry on.
Do you have any skills or talents that most people don't know about?
Yes, I can make up song lyrics on site. If I need to make up a funny song for a little kid as I'm working with them, I can make up song lyrics and sing any tune and make it work. It is not a talent that I will make money with, however. You will not see any of my songs on iTunes anytime soon.
What would your personal motto be?
Stay true to who you are.
Well, thank you, Jane, so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it. This is going to be a great opportunity for the people who are checking out our company to see the people that are working for us. And it's the people that are working for us that is really the backbone and heartbeat of On-Site Solutions Physical Therapy. So thank you very much, and good luck to you in the future.
On-Site Solutions Physical Therapy is a great company that has a wonderful, wonderful management team. I couldn't ask for a kinder group of people. They're just wonderful.